Today, I want you to imagine a version of yourself already living the life you dream of. I'm not talking about wishful thinking. I'm talking about a future reality that exists right now in the quantum field. A future where your breakthrough isn't something distant. It's real and it's waiting for you to align with it. But first, we need to understand something very important. The process of becoming is not instantaneous. It unfolds according to divine intelligence, God's timing, not our own. You see, every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you carry, they are signals, and those signals are energy. You are not just a body in space. You are a consciousness emitting frequency. And when your frequency aligns with faith, gratitude, and surrender, you begin to draw that breakthrough closer into your experience. Let me be clear. Your job is not to know how or when your blessing will arrive. Your job is to trust completely that it is already on the way. That gap between where you are and where you want to be, that's the space of creation. That's the sacred waiting room, and it's in that space where most people give up. They look at their current reality. Maybe it's lack, maybe it's pain, maybe it's fear, and they assume it's permanent, but reality is fluid, and God is never late. When you pray, when you visualize, when you feel that breakthrough in your heart before it arrives, you're sending a signal into the field. You're not begging for change, you're becoming the change. And when your energy matches the future you desire, the universe, guided by God, starts to rearrange itself in your favor. But here's the challenge. You must remain in that elevated state long enough for the blessing to manifest. That means mastering your thoughts. That means being emotionally ahead of your environment. That means trusting the timing, even when nothing around you seems to be moving. What feels like delay is often divine preparation. What feels like silence is often God adjusting the coordinates of your destiny. You are being shaped, refined, expanded, for the very thing you asked for, so stop checking the clock, stop doubting the process. Instead, become the person who is already living that answered prayer. Feel it in your heart, speak it in your words, move through your day as if it's already done, because in God's eyes it already is. The future you is not waiting, it's calling, and when you rise every morning with a heart of expectancy, not anxiety, and you align your inner world with peace, with faith, with gratitude, you collapse time. Miracles begin to unfold, doors begin to open, and what once seemed far off suddenly arrives with divine precision. So hear me clearly, your breakthrough is coming, it's real, it's already yours. It's just waiting for you to become the version of you that can receive it. Trust the process, trust God's timing, and watch what happens. Your breakthrough already exists in the quantum field. This isn't just a hopeful metaphor, it's a truth rooted in the nature of reality itself. In the realm beyond our senses, outside of linear time and physical matter, infinite possibilities coexist. Every potential version of your life, including the one where your prayer has been answered, already exists. You're not creating something from nothing, you're aligning yourself with what is already present in the unseen. The quantum field is a field of energy and information, not limited by space or time. It responds not to what you want, but to who you are being. When you begin to feel, think, and act in accordance with the version of you who already has the breakthrough, you start to resonate with that reality. You become a vibrational match to the future you desire. You're not chasing it, you're magnetizing it. This is how faith works at the level of energy, believing in something you cannot yet see, and feeling it so completely that it begins to materialize in your external world. Most people get stuck because they think reality only consists of what they can touch and measure. But faith and science both point to a deeper truth. The invisible shapes the visible. Your current conditions are just a reflection of your past energy and choices. But if you want to shift into a new reality, one filled with health, abundance, love, purpose, you must tune your internal state to match that future now. This means creating from the inside out. It means allowing yourself to emotionally experience the result before it physically arrives. The version of your life you long for is not distant. It's waiting for your alignment. Trust in God's timing, not your own. One of the most difficult yet transformative lessons on the journey to your breakthrough through is learning to surrender control over asterisk when asterisk things happen. We live in a world conditioned by immediacy, where results are expected instantly and patience is viewed as weakness. But divine timing operates on a different scale, one not bound by human urgency or emotional pressure. There is an intelligence far greater than your own orchestrating the movement of people, opportunities, and circumstances to align with your highest good. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, give it sunlight, and trust that the process hidden beneath the surface is just as important as the moment it finally breaks through the soil. The same principle applies to your life. Every time you surrender the timing of your outcome to God, you acknowledge that what is meant for you will arrive exactly when you are ready to receive it. Not before, not after. And in that surrender, you grow, not just in faith, but in character, strength, and vision. Waiting does not mean inactivity, it means preparation. It means aligning your thoughts and emotions with trust instead of frustration. It means letting go of the illusion that your timeline is superior to the divine one. God sees the full picture, the pieces you can't possibly perceive. What feels like delay may actually be protection or repositioning. What feels like silence may be the space necessary for something greater to be built within you. When you release your need to rush the process and choose instead to walk in trust, you begin to partner with the rhythm of grace rather than the pressure of fear. Your thoughts and emotions are energetic signals. Every moment, whether you're aware of it or not, you are broadcasting a frequency into the field around you. This isn't metaphorical, it's measurable. The electromagnetic field generated by your heart and brain creates a vibrational pattern that influences not only your internal biology, but also the external environment. When your thoughts are aligned with faith, gratitude, and possibility, and your emotions are in a state of coherence, you become a powerful magnet for the reality that matches that energy. Thoughts are the language of the mind, and emotions are the language of the body. When both are in agreement, they send a clear, unified message to the field. But when your mind is full of positive affirmations while your body is still in fear, doubt, or anxiety, the signal becomes distorted. The field doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to the vibration you consistently emit. This is why inner alignment is essential. It's not about pretending to be positive. It's about actually shifting your state of being to match the outcome you desire. Every time you dwell on worry or rehearse old limitations, you reinforce the same patterns of energy that created your current conditions. But when you start to think elevated thoughts and feel elevated emotions, even before anything in your life changes, you begin to shift your signal. That shift is what initiates transformation. The future you want is not created by waiting for something to change. It's created by changing your internal broadcast. Faith becomes frequency. Gratitude becomes resonance. And over time, the energy you consistently generate draws the people, opportunities, and experiences that reflect it back to you in tangible form. Faith and gratitude align you with your blessing. These are not passive emotional states. They are active frequencies that condition your body and mind to become receptive to the break through you seek. Faith is the ability to believe in what you cannot yet see with your physical eyes. It's a deep inner conviction that what you've asked for is already being prepared for you, regardless of external circumstances. When you cultivate faith, you step out of survival mode and into creation mode. You stop reacting to life as it is and begin to consciously create life as it could be. Gratitude, in turn, is the emotional signature of fulfillment. When you feel grateful before the blessing arrives, you're signaling to the universe and to your own nervous system that the event has already happened. This act of emotional rehearsal causes your brain and body to begin living in the future you desire. Biochemically, the body doesn't know the difference between a deeply imagined experience and a real one. When you combine clear intention with elevated emotion, you condition yourself to receive. Together, faith and gratitude create a coherent state of being that attracts your blessing. Faith keeps you anchored when results are not visible. It keeps you from giving in to doubt or fear. Gratitude keeps your heart open and your energy expanded. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from waiting to receiving. These states elevate your frequency and draw you into alignment with what already exists in the unseen realm. They become the bridge between your current reality and your desired future, acting as both the foundation and the fuel for your transformation. Practicing them daily isn't just spiritual discipline. It's energetic preparation for the manifestation already set in motion. The waiting period is where transformation happens. It's easy to celebrate the moment a breakthrough arrives, but the real work, the deep internal change, occurs in the space between the intention and the manifestation. This period can feel like uncertainty, silence, or even resistance, but it's actually where you are being prepared to become the person capable of holding what you've asked for. Without that transformation, even the greatest blessing might arrive only to slip through your fingers because the version of you receiving it hasn't yet been formed. Waiting is not wasted time. It is a crucible, a sacred place of refinement where your faith is stretched, your character is strengthened, and your vision is clarified. It's where you let go of who you were and step into who you are becoming. It's where old habits rise to the surface to be released, and new patterns begin to take shape. If everything you asked for showed up instantly, there would be no process of becoming, no expansion of consciousness, and no growth in your capacity to steward the next level of your life. During the waiting, you're invited to stop looking at the clock and start looking inward. What are you learning? What beliefs are being challenged? What emotions are asking to be healed? The version of you that lives in the future you desire likely doesn't think, speak, or respond the same way the current version does. The waiting period gives you space to align, to elevate, to embody that future self before the external proof shows up. When you stop resisting the waiting and instead embrace it as part of the divine process, you stop feeling stuck and start realizing you're being shaped. Every delay becomes a tool, every silence a teacher, every moment a necessary part of your unfolding reality is fluid. Your current state is not permanent. What you see around you right now is not the full truth of your life. It is simply a reflection of past thoughts, emotions, and energetic patterns that have materialized into form. Just as water can shift from stillness to motion, from ice to steam, your reality is constantly being shaped and reshaped by the energy you bring into each moment. The challenge is that most people accept their current reality as fixed, as if what they see is all there will ever be. But the truth is, reality is a dynamic field of potential, and you are never stuck unless you believe you are. When you understand that everything is energy and that energy is responsive to intention and emotion, you begin to reclaim your power as a creator. You're not here to react to life, you're here to design it. This doesn't mean you deny your circumstances or ignore your struggles, but it does mean you stop identifying with them. The version of your life that holds your healing, your abundance, your calling, already exists as a potential outcome. You access it not by forcing your external world to change first, but by changing your internal state. When you shift your thoughts, your energy shifts. When you elevate your emotional state, your signal to the field changes. And because the outer world is a mirror, it eventually must reflect the inner transformation you commit to. Nothing around you has to stay the same. Just because you've lived a certain pattern for years doesn't mean it must define your future. The moment you decide to think differently, feel differently, and act from a new level of awareness, you begin to alter the fabric of your personal reality. Visualization and belief initiate the blessing. When you consistently imagine a desired future and believe in its possibility with your whole being, you are doing more than daydreaming. You are engaging in an intentional act of creation. The mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is real. When you visualize with clarity and emotional intensity, your brain begins to fire in new patterns that mirror the outcome you desire. It begins to build neural pathways as if the event has already occurred, preparing your body and your behavior to align with that future. Belief adds power to this process. Without belief, visualization becomes empty rehearsal. But when belief is present, your thoughts and emotions merge into a powerful frequency that communicates directly with the quantum field. You begin to embody the result before it happens, and in doing so, you collapse the space between the imagined and the experienced. This is the spiritual and neurological foundation of manifestation. Thought plus emotion equals energetic signature, and that signature attracts matching experiences. It's not about wishing for something and waiting for it to appear. It's about stepping into the experience internally first. When you see it in your mind and feel it in your heart, you train your nervous system to become familiar with success, healing, or abundance. You become less likely to sabotage it when it arrives because your mind and body already know what it feels like. Consistency in visualization and belief doesn't just keep the dream alive. It brings it into focus, accelerates your alignment, and builds momentum in the unseen. Your imagination is a tool given by divine design. It allows you to access futures not yet visible, and your belief is the spiritual trust that draws them from the invisible into form. Master your inner world to shift your external world. Everything you experience on the outside is a reflection of what you carry on the inside. Your beliefs, emotions, attitudes, and perceptions shape how life responds to you. If your inner world is filled with fear, doubt, and limitation, your external world will mirror those patterns through repeated struggles, closed doors, and delays. But when you begin to cultivate inner clarity, peace, and purpose, you open yourself to new possibilities and outcomes that match your elevated state of being. The greatest shift happens when you stop trying to force change from the outside in and start creating from the inside out. This means taking full responsibility for the energy you're emitting in every moment. It requires awareness of your thoughts, honesty about your emotions, and discipline in choosing responses that are aligned with your future rather than your past. You cannot expect abundance while holding on to scarcity in your mind. You cannot expect love while carrying unhealed resentment in your heart. The world around you adjusts according to who you decide to be internally. Inner mastery begins with presence. The more conscious you become of your inner state, the more power you have to redirect it. You start noticing the patterns that no longer serve you. You begin replacing reactive behaviors with intentional actions. You practice gratitude even in uncertainty. You speak words of life even in silence. This inner discipline is not about perfection, it's about alignment. Every moment you choose to operate from faith instead of fear, from vision instead of circumstance, you rewrite your future. When you master your inner world, you step into the role of creator instead of victim. You stop chasing outcomes and start attracting them by becoming the energetic match for the life you are praying for. Delay is often divine preparation. It's easy to look at a period of waiting or a moment when things don't seem to be moving forward and assume that something is wrong, that you've been forgotten, or that your breakthrough has somehow been delayed. But what if, instead of seeing these moments as setbacks, you understood them as essential steps in your preparation? Every delay is not a denial. It's a moment of divine intervention, an opportunity to align, grow, and evolve into the person capable of receiving the blessing you've been asking for. When things seem slow or stagnant, it's not because the universe is withholding from you. It's because something within you is being prepared to meet your blessing. There is often a deep, invisible process occurring beneath the surface of your life that you cannot immediately perceive. God's timing is perfect, and sometimes the work that's happening in your life is not visible to you yet. It may be a shift in your internal state, a healing in your emotions, or the alignment of circumstances and relationships that are being readied to serve your highest good. Delay is also an opportunity to refine your desires and intentions. During this time, you have the chance to ask yourself, asterisk, are my goals aligned with my highest purpose? Have I done the inner work required to hold this blessing? Asterisk, the waiting period gives you the chance to clear any inner resistance, build your resilience, and deepen your trust in the process. You might not see the pieces coming together right now, but they are. The delays you experience are not obstacles. They are preparing you to receive something greater than you may even realize, something that could not have arrived sooner. Become the version of you who has already received it. This is where true transformation begins, not in waiting for the blessing, but in stepping into the energy of having already received it. So often, we focus on the external circumstances we want to change, but the key to shifting your reality lies in shifting your identity. When you begin to see yourself as the person who is already living the life you desire, you unlock the power to manifest it. The most important question to ask yourself is, asterisk, how would the person I want to become think, act, and feel? Asterisk, this future version of you is not bound by the limitations of today. This version has already overcome obstacles, already achieved the goals, and already stepped into the life you dream of. You don't need to wait for the external conditions to align to embody this person. You can choose to step into that energy right now. This is a shift in consciousness. It means letting go of the old identity that has kept you stuck in the past and embracing the new one, the one who is aligned with success, health, abundance, and peace. By becoming that person now, you begin to reshape your thoughts, feelings, and actions in alignment with your desired future. You no longer operate from a place of need or lack. Instead, you act from a place of fulfillment and certainty. You speak as if your goals are already achieved, walk as if you already hold the success, and feel as if the blessing is already yours. This alignment transforms your energy, sending out a signal that matches your desires, and attracting them into your experience. The universe responds to the person you are becoming, not just the person you are. When you become the version of yourself who already has it, you create the pathway for it to manifest in your reality.